This happened to me 2 summers ago, just after high school. I live in a small lake town in Michigan, the kind of place that's packed with tourists in July, then totally silent the rest of the year. I've lived here forever. I thought I knew every inch of it. I was wrong. It was late July, a humid, still night. Around midnight, me and my two best friends, Ryan and Devin, decided to go to the lake. There's a hidden dock way out past the park boundary. Locals call it Skinny Dip Dock because of what used to happen there, but mostly now it's just a place for teens to hang out and mess around. We parked off the trail and walked the rest in the dark. No moon, just our phone flashlights. I remember how silent the woods were. No frogs, no crickets, just the sound of our footsteps and the water brushing against the dock. We sat for a while, just talking, watching the lake. Devin dared Ryan to jump in, but Ryan passed it off. Eventually, Devin said screw it, stripped to his boxers, and cannonballed in. But when he came up, he wasn't laughing. He was quiet, just staring. Then he started swimming back, fast. When he climbed onto the dock, he said, "There's something under there. A rope or something." It touched my foot. Ryan and I leaned over the edge and flashed the light down. Black water. Nothing. And then I saw it. Something white, slowly drifting up toward the surface. At first, I thought it was just trash. Then I saw hair. A pale face. Wide open eyes. A woman, just floating there, mouth frozen open like she'd died mid-scream. We ran. Didn't even grab our stuff. We just ran. Here's where it gets worse. Ryan's dad is the sergeant in our area. Normally, he's the type to roll his eyes at us. But when Ryan called and told him what we saw, he didn't even hesitate. 30 minutes later, the whole department was out there. They found her. A missing woman. She'd been gone for over a week. She was tied to a cinder block. Dumped. But here's the part that keeps me up at night. The medical examiner said she still had air in her lungs. She was alive when she went into that water. She was sinking. Aware. Drowning slowly in pitch black. But even after everything, the police, the body, the investigation, something kept bothering me. And it didn't hit me until days later. How did she float up? If she was tied to a cinder block, how did we see her rise? No one could answer that. And to this day, none of us ever went back to that lake. This happened 3 summers ago when I was 17. I was staying with my grandparents for 2 weeks at their lake house in upstate New York. It was supposed to be a peaceful summer. Long walks, quiet days, and swims in the private lake at the bottom of their hill. Instead, it's the summer I still have nightmares about. The lake was small, shallow, and perfect in the afternoon sun. I'd go down alone in my bathing suit, read on the dock, swim, then lay on a towel and dry off. Nobody else used that part of the lake, just me. After the 3rd or 4th day, I noticed something a bit off. As I was walking back to the house, I glanced up at the house next door. An old, peeling colonial with a sagging porch. In the 2nd-story window, there was a man. He was staring straight at me. Still, silent, watching. It startled me, but I thought maybe he was just looking out his window and happened to glance at me. I looked away and kept walking. But the next day, he was there again. Same time, same window, just staring. He didn't move when I looked back. Didn't wave or blink. Just watched me, like I was some trespasser on his property. That night at dinner, I asked my grandma who lived across the road. She paused for a second, then said, "That's Mr. Kellerman. He's odd. Keeps to himself." I told her he'd been staring at me. She waved it off. "He's probably just lonely. Don't go starting trouble." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept the curtain open just a crack to let some of the moonlight in. I don't know why I couldn't sleep. Curiosity? Paranoia? Then, at maybe 1:30 in the morning, I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. I froze. It wasn't loud, but it was slow and deliberate. 3 taps. Paused. Then again. Tap, tap, tap. I sat up in bed and turned toward the window. My stomach dropped. An old man was outside. Outside my 2nd-story bedroom window. His face was pressed against the glass. His eyes were wide. And he was smiling. He could see me. Pale skin. Greasy hair. Nasty tank top. Smiling like he was proud of himself. It was Mr. Kellerman. I screamed so loud I felt my throat tear. I ran out into the hall as my grandparents came rushing in, but by the time they turned on the lights and looked, he was gone. They didn't believe me. Said maybe I had a nightmare. That I was overtired from all the sun. I begged them to believe me. I told them I saw him, that he was right there, but they brushed it off. The next morning, I called my mom and asked her to come get me. She thought I was being dramatic until I broke down crying. She said she'd drive up the next day. I didn't go back down to the lake that day. That afternoon when my mom arrived, I went out to grab the bathing suit I'd left hanging on the porch railing to dry. It was gone. It happened when I was 15 at a summer camp in northern Pennsylvania. One of those deep forest camps where the trees are older than the cabins and the fog rolls in thick some mornings. You live in bathing suits and bug spray, and by the end of your first week, your flashlight becomes your most valuable possession. It was my third year there, and I thought I knew all the stories. But that summer, one of the older girls, a tall, bored blonde named Kayla, told us something new. About half a mile past the old archery range, she said, swirling her spoon in her cereal, there's an abandoned hospital. 2 stories. They used to use it for rehab patients. Shut down after a fire. People say it's still standing. She smiled like she wanted us to ask. Sierra did. What kind of fire? No one knows, Kayla said. But some nights, if you're near it, you hear clicking, like a clock with teeth. She tapped her tongue to the roof of her mouth. That sound stuck with me. So, of course, I told my 2 closest friends, Sierra and Maddie. And of course, we planned to find it. That night, after lights out, we sneaked out of our cabin with flashlights and hoodies. We knew the trail past the fire pit, behind the tool shed. We followed it until it twisted into something older, something half swallowed by the woods. The deeper we went, the more the air changed, still, close, like it was holding its breath. Then we saw it. The hospital. It was tall and skeletal, hidden in vines. Windows shattered. Roof half-caved. The front door sagged open like a mouth. We hesitated, but Sierra said, "We came this far." So we went in. The air was wet and rotten. The floorboards groaned. The halls were littered with broken furniture, rusted beds, half-burned clipboards. We crept past faded signs and water-stained walls, deeper into the second floor. The deeper we went, the more it felt like the building was swallowing sound, our flashlights dimming with every step. Then we heard it. We froze. It was coming from down the hallway, where the light didn't reach. And then she appeared. Tall. Too tall. She had to stoop beneath the ceiling. Her limbs were impossibly long, fingers dangling like vines. Her skin looked soaked, gray and shining, stretched too tight over her bones. Her head twitched once, twice, like she was hearing something we couldn't. She was maybe 30 feet away, and she was making that sound. We couldn't move. My flashlight trembled in my hand. Then Maddie whispered, "Go." And we ran. We bolted back down the hallway, footsteps pounding like thunder, flashlights bobbing wildly. But behind us, we heard her too. That fast, jerky movement, the unrelenting clicks, louder now, like they were inside our heads. Maddie screamed. She tripped. Sierra skidded to a stop. "Maddie!" I turned back, but I couldn't see her. She'd fallen behind the nurse's desk. The clicking stopped. Silence. Then Sierra rushed forward and grabbed something off the floor, a rusted pipe, maybe a curtain rod, and darted around the desk. I followed, heart in my throat. We found Maddie on her back, mouth open in terror, as the tall woman crouched over her like a spider. Sierra didn't hesitate. She swung the pipe, hard, slamming it into the creature's side. It let out a guttural, high-pitched sound, not a scream, not a hiss. Almost like laughter. It recoiled, jerking backward. We grabbed Maddie and ran. Branches whipped our faces as we tore through the woods. We didn't look back. We didn't stop until we saw the cabin lights in the distance. Back in bed, under our blankets, our chests heaving, we didn't speak for a long time. Then Maddie said, quietly, She was on me." We looked over. She didn't blink, Maddie whispered. She didn't even move her mouth. But the sound was still coming out. The clicking. It was right by my face. She wiped her cheek. And then she licked me. My stomach turned. She didn't open her mouth. But her tongue came out anyway. It was cold. Like something dead. We didn't sleep that night. We didn't tell anyone. What could we say? We avoided that part of the woods for the rest of the summer. Maddie never went to the infirmary alone again. And even now, years later, sometimes, when I'm lying in bed at night, I swear I can hear it. Faint, just outside the window.